Jupiter looks calm from far away. Nothing could be further from the truth. Most people think the deadliest planet in the solar system would be the hottest one, or the one with acid clouds, or the one that could crush you instantly. That's the wrong way to think about it. Why is Jupiter the deadliest planet? Not because you could land there and die, because Jupiter doesn't just kill what enters it. It reaches across the solar system, bends trajectories, captures comets, hurls debris, floods space with radiation, and rips objects apart with a level of violence no other planet can match. Jupiter is not just dangerous to visit, it's merciless. This is not the story of what Jupiter is like. This is the story of what Jupiter does. To understand why Jupiter earns that title, we have to stop thinking about planets as places, and instead start thinking about them as forces. Jupiter is larger than every other planet combined. Its gravity dominates the architecture of the solar system. Its magnetic field traps radiation so intense it can cripple spacecraft. Its pull is strong enough to capture comets, shred them, and turn impact into spectacle. The surface is not the point. The power is. And once you see what that power has already done, the old idea of Jupiter as Earth's protector starts to collapse. Jupiter is the largest planet in the solar system. Its mass is more than twice that of all the other planets combined. You could fit more than 1,300 Earths inside it by volume. Its gravity is so strong that it helped shape the structure of the early solar system itself, sculpting orbits, clearing pathways, scattering objects, and influencing where planets could form. That scale matters because Jupiter is not merely another world orbiting the Sun. It is the dominant gravitational machine in the planetary system. For decades, that dominance produced a comforting story. Jupiter, people said, was Earth's shield, a giant protector parked in the outer solar system, sweeping up dangerous objects before they could hit us. Big Brother, Guardian, Cosmic Bodyguard. It is a beautiful story. It is also incomplete. Jupiter does not only remove threats, it creates them. A series of dynamical studies led by Jonathan Horner and Barry Jones examined the long-assumed idea that Jupiter protects Earth from impacts. Their conclusion was not that Jupiter is harmless or hostile in one simple direction. Their conclusion was worse. The effect depends on the source population, and in some cases, Jupiter significantly increases Earth's impact risk. For asteroids and centaur-like bodies, Jupiter can act less like a shield and more like a delivery system, disturbing stable reservoirs of debris and sending some of that material inward. So Jupiter is not just a planet. It is a force that decides what survives. Anything that wanders too close does not simply pass by unchanged. In 1993, astronomers discovered a comet already trapped by Jupiter. Its name was Shoemaker-Levy 9. It was not intact. Jupiter had already torn it apart. The comet had passed too close to Jupiter in July 1992. The difference in gravitational pull between the side of the comet nearest Jupiter and the side farthest away, what physicists call tidal force, was so extreme that the comet was ripped into more than 20 fragments. By the time astronomers found it, the damage had already been done. Then came the second act. In July 1994, those fragments plunged into Jupiter's atmosphere one after another over 6 days. Some were traveling at roughly 60 kilometers per second. The impacts heated the atmosphere to tens of thousands of degrees Celsius. Giant plumes rose thousands of kilometers above the cloud tops. Dark scars larger than Earth were left behind in Jupiter's atmosphere for months. This was the first time in human history that we directly watched one world destroy another in real time. Jupiter did not just catch that comet, it executed it. And that event matters for one reason beyond spectacle. Shoemaker-Levy 9 showed in a way no simulation ever could what Jupiter's gravity is capable of doing to a real incoming object. Capture it, deform it, break it, pull it into collision, turn orbital mechanics into violence. The planet did not have to move. Everything else moved for it. Shoemaker Levy 9 was dramatic because we could see it. A quieter kind of killing happens around Jupiter constantly. Long before you reach Jupiter's clouds, Jupiter starts trying to kill you. Jupiter has the most powerful planetary magnetic field in the solar system. That field traps charged particles and creates radiation belts so intense that unprotected electronics would fail quickly and human exposure would be catastrophic. This is not a side feature of Jupiter. It is part of what makes Jupiter merciless. When NASA sent the Juno spacecraft to Jupiter, the mission had to be designed around that radiation. Juno carries a titanium radiation vault to shield its most sensitive electronics. Even with that protection, the mission team expected cumulative damage over time because Jupiter's environment is simply too aggressive to negotiate with. Most people know Jupiter for its giant storm, the Great Red Spot. But the storm is not the planet's greatest danger. The radiation is. Then there is the atmosphere. Jupiter has no solid surface you can stand on. Drop into it, and the sequence is not cinematic. It is terminal. Winds faster than hurricanes, pressure climbing far beyond anything the human body or any normal vehicle can tolerate, temperatures rising, hydrogen transitioning into exotic states deeper down. There is no landing. There is only descent, compression, heating, destruction. Venus is cruel. Jupiter is industrial. Some planets kill you because they are hostile. Jupiter kills by scale. That scale extends beyond its atmosphere, beyond its radiation, beyond anything you would call weather. Jupiter changes the fate of objects that never touch it. And that is where the word deadliest stops sounding dramatic and starts sounding precise. The old story said Jupiter protects us. The real story is harder to say in one sentence. Jupiter sometimes protects Earth. Jupiter also sometimes increases the number of things that can hit it. That is not speculation. It is the conclusion of repeated dynamical modeling by Horner and Jones across different source populations: asteroids, centaurs, and Oort cloud comets. For Oort cloud comets, a giant planet like Jupiter can reduce some impact risk by ejecting comets from the solar system more efficiently. For asteroids and centaur-derived objects, the picture is more complicated and, in important cases, worse. Jupiter can destabilize populations and feed dangerous bodies into the inner solar system. That means Jupiter is not a guardian angel. It is a massive gravitational engine with no loyalty to Earth. Jupiter does not protect life, it follows physics. If its gravity removes a threat, Earth benefits. If it sends one inward instead, Earth lives with the consequences. It makes no distinction. A planet that can tear apart comets, flood nearby space with radiation intense enough to cripple spacecraft, and reshape the paths of objects across the solar system does not need a solid surface to be deadly. Its power extends far beyond its clouds. Its lethality is woven into the architecture of the solar system. Jupiter is not the solar system's safest giant. It changes the fate of everything that ventures too close. So if the question is, which planet is the most hostile to the human body, you could argue for Venus. If the question is, which planet has the greatest power to destroy, redirect, or ruin everything around it, the answer is Jupiter. Jupiter wins the adjective game too easily. Biggest, fastest spinning, most massive, most powerful magnetic field, most violent radiation environment of any planet. None of those qualities by themselves define Jupiter. Together, they create something far more powerful than any single superlative. A planet massive enough to dominate the solar system's architecture, violent enough to tear apart comets, radioactive enough to punish anything that approaches, influential enough to protect Earth in one case and endanger it in another, beautiful enough to be misunderstood. That is the trap. Jupiter looks majestic because distance removes consequences. Up close, it is not majestic. It is where beauty and destruction become the same thing. At the start of this video, the first impact flash on Jupiter looked small. In 1994, some of those scars were larger than Earth. Jupiter does not need to chase anything. Sooner or later, gravity brings it to it. So, why is Jupiter the deadliest planet? Not because you would die if you went there. Because no other planet reaches so far beyond itself, capturing, tearing apart, reshaping everything that wanders too close. Jupiter is not simply a place in the solar system. It is one of the forces that has helped shape its history. The universe has more stories to tell. See you in the next one.